Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Godly Perfection, and I'm one of the community cartographers that helps out around Halo Waypoint to find community maps for matchmaking for Halo Reach. And yesterday's Friday, we started a Forge contest being hosted on Halo Waypoint, posted up on the front page by BS Angel, and it's basically we're looking for maps for matchmaking to fill out the playlist for Team Objective. And there's a lot of different things that us as community cartographers look for, and being one of them, I want to give you my side of what I look for. I don't speak for any of the other cartographers. They all look for different things. So this series is going to cover my perspective alone and what I look for in maps, and hopefully it'll help some people build maps that they want to put into matchmaking and get them in there. Um, if you look at the contest, there's a huge prizes. We worked with BS Angel and 343 guys to set some fun things up. So hopefully you guys participate. You can go to the post itself. I'll put a link in the description, and you can participate and find all the details. So this new series that I'm starting is it's called Mindful Cartography, and it's basically it covers level design at a general perspective, something you could look at and apply to any particular game like Unreal, Quake. You could even apply it to Super Mario Brothers. But level design has always been a huge topic in the game design community, and it's starting to get deeper and deeper for us forgers. Forgers are actually looking at it from a more serious perspective. So mindful cartography. Cartography it's always been used for identifying people who make maps, and when I say maps, I mean more like maps in an atlas, like city maps and the world map and whatnot. But we use it here um, in this context to refer to us making maps. Um, and then mindful, of course, refers more to awareness and understanding. Um, Understanding the depth of level design and what you can look at to improve your map, things that may not be obvious at first glance, but something that helps. Having knowledge, becoming more aware, I guess. This series is going to be very loosely structured and very impromptu. I'm gonna just throw out as I'm talking. I'll make a quick outline each video and have it up on the video so you have something to look at. But overall, I'm just talking. There's no straight script. The series will be very similar to the Forge lessons that I've done in the past. These Forge lessons, here they are. I covered a bunch of little topics. They were very, very organized and very structured, and they came out very fast-paced at first. But there's like 51 of them. If you want to go back and read them, go for it. But I mean, this series doesn't require it. It helps if you want to go read it. So I cover things like first impressions. I do like 3 paragraphs and an intro paragraph on the topic. There's incentives and combat congestion, traffic, the essence of your map, the goals that you have, innovation, tons of different things, reputation even, because reputation holds a huge part in being a community editor in particular. Let's see what else I got here. Alright, but the intent of this series is not only for the Forge contest, but to help people build maps for Halo Reach matchmaking in general, because I'm one of the guys that look at it. Meeting my standards will help you get up there. My standards aren't the same as other cartographers. I won't state any names, but we all look at things differently, and meeting several perspectives can help improve your chances of getting your map in matchmaking. It's not a popularity contest, but we've been chosen for a particular reason because we have particular views and how we look at maps. Also, in addition, these design tips are very focused, not focused, very general. So, like I said, they can be covered for any particular game. And Halo 4 is coming out this winter. And Halo 4 it's already confirmed that there's Forge in Halo 4. So this will be very helpful for when you want to build maps for Halo 4. If you're preparing yourself, practice can make perfect. Okay, maybe not perfect, but as perfect as you can get. For this series, I'll be covering tons of game/level design theories because everything's connected. Game design aspects can be applied to level design, things like advertising and whatnot, and reputation, and how to first impressions and all that stuff, and long-term play. Everything comes into play. So I'll be covering tons of level design concepts, things that I've come up with myself through experience and named myself that might already exist, but I haven't found it existing in the more professional world, or things that are on other sites that, through other games, things that other people have explored, like I don't even know how to say this, CSY Vertin, I guess, CSY Vertin. I discovered this site years ago when I was looking, I was young and I wanted to learn more about game design. But this site is a very, very useful resource. If you have time, go to this site, CSYvertin.net, and look at some of these articles. This whole section right here, level design, can play a huge role. Some of it may not be helpful for Forge in particular, like some of it covers audio cues, and we only have so much audio to play with, like man cannons and fusion coils maybe, but that's all. Here there's a ton of different articles. Some of you may recognize this one in particular, Carney's Crash Course in Map Design 101. Chris Carney works at Bungie. He's one of the level designers over there, and he did this whole article on how he went through the creation of the Cage. I know the Cage isn't the most popular map out there, but it helps to see a professional's point of view. He covers little concepts like simplicity, orientation, navigation, and flow. All very important concepts. He takes all these into account as he builds his maps, and reading articles like this can really help your own map design, because these guys know what they're doing. They've been in the field for a while, and they're where they are at because they earned it. Among these is also the Forge lessons, as I was talking about. These are here as well. And then there's tons other things. No More Wrong Turns is one of my personal favorites. It covers navigation and how you direct players, both with the UI and in terrain in particular. There's a ton of little things here, so go look through this, and you might find something that you like. I'll probably be using this very often as a either starting point or as support for topics that I've talked about. Alright, moving on. Because I'm only one cartographer, I'm only one side of a multi-sided die, I will try to do interviews with other cartographers asking what they look for in maps, so you can try to cover all sides of forging, so you can try to improve your maps. And you have to, in map design, you always got to cater to something. You can't just follow the same regiment over and over again. You've got to adjust for every situation, and adjusting for the cartographers is something important if you really want to get your map in matchmaking. The more they like it, the better chance it gets in. And that includes, having good gameplay, having a unique map that stands out and has a personality of its own and doesn't look like all the other maps that have been built. Tons of different things like that can can help you get your map in matchmaking. Also, as time goes on, I'll be covering Halo 4 Forge news. We know it's coming out, but they haven't announced anything yet, and as time goes on and stuff comes out, I will be covering it. So, because I'm just excited as any other Forger may be. And also, as time goes along, I'll be doing design challenges, and they may not actually be tied to Halo Reach in particular. I've actually been thinking about getting people more familiar with SketchUp as a design tool, as a pre-plan tool, and a drafting tool, so you can design your maps before the game comes out. Now, that's pretty much all on the series about me. For my credentials, like I said, I'm a community cartographer. If you don't believe me, here's a Waypoint screenshot. There's our little forum there. There's also a search and members, and from what I'm told, everybody can see it. There's a community cartographer list there. There's I think there's 9 or 10 of us or something like that. But what we do is we interface with the 343 team, our matchmaking team lead, and we work with him to find maps to put into matchmaking, and we all make a collective decision. There's no objective way to look at it. Everything's subjective. Everything's based on the circumstances. What do we have in matchmaking now, and what kind of hole can this fill if we put it into matchmaking? Things like that. Everything's different. What else? I've talked about the Forge lessons. I spent over a year doing them. They slowed down a lot because they were too structured for me, and I can't just sit there and do it every single week, every single day. My mind can't focus that much. And I like free-flowing talk. It's much more flexible. And also, I myself have 3 maps in matchmaking: Affinity, Think Twice, Chateau. While they may not be favorites of anybody's in particular, there are people that like it, there are people that hate it. I've gotten equal hate and fan mail. But regardless, they made it into matchmaking, and that means something, at the very least. Something doesn't get into matchmaking unless it did something right to get there. Whether or not it fits in matchmaking now, it's up to the community, not me. Also, I run reachingperfection.com. It's a small community site. Well, it's more a personal blog for me, and it's got a small community of level designers. Also got a bunch of Armored Core 5 players, if any of you even know what that is. But here I have no clue as a guest author, and I'll be adding more guest authors as more people become interested. So if you actually think you know enough about level design, then feel free to hit me up and ask about being an author. We have a forum that that everybody posts on. We all enjoy each other. We're a very mature community, very small and tight-knit. Hasn't been much action as of late. It's been slow, but I mean, over 122,000 views, so you can judge it based on that. Tons of posts everywhere. In addition, I started out wanting to become a game programmer when I was very young, and then I worked towards becoming a programmer. I ended up getting into the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force, and being a programmer for 4 years. When I started that, Halo 3 had come out after I was in for maybe half a year or so. And that's where I started to get into Forge and learning the basics of design, and then I ventured out from Forge and looked at game design in general and started reading a lot of stuff on game design, and it's gotten me here today, about 6 years later. So I have computer programming is a career, and game design as something that I want to do, that I want to shift to. I program here and there. I'm working on a couple indie games, but nothing solid, and I'm very bad at not keeping up with things. I have a wife and a 11-month-old. He was born, his name's Lucas, and he was born on Bungie Day of last year. My wife Manda is wonderful personality, and she loves hanging out on the Xbox with me as well and talking with a lot of my friends. She's very flexible, and she lets me do all this game design stuff. I'm going to school right now for computer simulation and game dev, but I mean she's been very a great support, and without her I wouldn't be where I am today. Some of my goals in the future: I want to eventually work for 343 Industries or Bungie and be there making maps for a great series that everybody loves, or designing the game mechanics, even if I can get that far. Level design's kind of my foot in the door right now. It's where my expertise lies, and I'm not even calling myself an expert because you can never be an expert. There's always something new to learn. And then eventually in the far, far future, I hope maybe one day to own a game studio, even a small one, small indie developer that creates unique games that people enjoy playing, and that builds a small, loyal fan base rather than tries to get popular. But I think that's all that I have right now. I think I've covered all the little links that I have here. Mindful Cartography, contest. Like I said, if look into getting into this Forge contest, it's great practice. And there's a ton of details here that you got to look at, ton of rules. Huge thanks to Homeboy for doing this. He worked hard to get this thing together, so great thanks to him. If you have any questions, we have an official Community Cartographers Forge contest Q&A thread, question and answer for those who don't know what Q&A is. If you have any questions, feel free to post here, and we will do our best to reply and get it answered as soon as possible. It's sitting in the Community Creations forum on, oh god, no, I don't want to do that. It's sitting in the Community Creations forum on Waypoint. Other than that, I think I just about covered everything. I hope you guys have a good day. I hope to see you around. Spread the word to other forgers that might be interested, because the more people that are talking, this will be a very interactive thing. I talk to you, you talk to me, and we discuss huge concepts and develop our skills even further as a group. So hopefully you stick around, and hopefully you enjoy this series. I'll be back as often as I can. I don't know how often that'll be, but I'll cover as much material as I can during the course of this contest, which is, I believe, straight through all of June. So, hope you guys take care. I will see you around.